Switch, aka who keep putting these damn Vienna sausages in my pocket, aka the Komake Tiger Dropper, aka the undisputed, undefeated, uncontested social distancing champion, aka let me tuck you in at night while I sweep. I tried. Let me try again. Let me tuck you in at night while I whisper these sweet nothings in your ear. Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites. Episode 127. You heard it. 127. For those that don't know, Switches Sites podcast is a video game podcast, solo video game podcast where I myself, a Switch, talk about video games. That's it. Just a black man talking about video games. I'm not trying to undersell it. I'm just trying to be transparent, So, yeah. Today's date is October 28th, 2021. This mom just straight up just out of nowhere, but it's crazy. As soon as you know it, we about to be in 2022. So, at least in terms of the video game realm, I mean, stuff is going. Oh, I forgot, you might notice something a little different about me. Might notice I got some, might be wearing some glasses that are new. So, I'm gonna try to get it right. Damn it. Nope. Fuck. Well, that's kind of applicable. No, I don't need milk. All right, let me stop. Yeah. So, have a pretty full episode today. So, you know what? Let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. First topic of discussion. October State of Play. So, PlayStation out of nowhere. I think we talked about it. Maybe we did. Either way, PlayStation announced new State of Play for October. That happened yesterday, technically. Excuse me. And, man, I don't even know how to describe it. Well, first off, I mean, spoiler alert, it was, as a whole, pretty damn underwhelming. Dare I say, I don't know, just disappointing. Short as hell. Apparently, we were made aware it was only going to be like 20 minutes. I thought it was 40. I thought, at least I read somewhere, that it was 40, but apparently it was only set to be 20 minutes. So, which, hey, I mean, if that was a dope ass 20 minutes, I don't know, but I mean, I'll at least say the game, a fair amount of the games didn't speak to me personally. There were a couple of highlights here and there, but I guess we'll get into those now. First game they revealed, I at least pretty shortly after I saw it, I'm like, this must be Let It Die or Lily Bergamo. I think that was technically Let It Die or I think that was the game before it became Let It Die. Let It Die. So Lily Bergamo, I think the whole project started out initially, and then I guess at some point it changed to Let It Die, and then you see that same character that was in like the trailer they showed for Lily Bergamo long time ago, and then yeah, sure enough, it what do they call it? Death verse Let It Die as the subtitle. So it obviously is a continuation of some sort of Let It Die. You could tell just the character animations. It looks very very similar to Let It Die. So that's what I was thinking initially, but it raised a few questions, especially considering that Gung Ho, who's working on this game, they had a lot of, well, no, I think this technically had some cooperation with Grasshopper, maybe before, at least last episode, it was revealed that, Grasshopper got acquired by NetEase. So I would assume that they technically don't have the rights to this IP, but maybe they must have worked something out as they split, because there was a lot of crossover like content from Grasshopper games in Let It Die, like Travis Touchdown stuff. I'm pretty sure what's the other game, what is it called, damn it, Garcia Hotspur, the Raging Boner. What is that game called? Shadows of the Damned. So you have all that being crossed over. So it's like, is that still a thing? Is the continuity not going to be a thing anymore, or what? But I don't know. Either way, it seems to be full steam. I guess maybe they'll just shun some of those. But then again, Lily Bergamo, which again I think was at least created by, I think, Suda51 to some extent, I want to say, is like supposedly probably going to be one of the main like reoccurring characters in the game, similar to like, Uncle Death, and what was that dude? Yeah, I forgot the dude that like is makes a pretty decent cameo in No More Heroes 3. I think I want to say Tanjiro, the dude that's like really good at arcade games. Mix mix you up. So this is definitely probably the game I'm most looking forward to playing out of this direct. And I mean, to be honest, that's not saying much. I'm like, oh, this is something I definitely will play, but it probably will stick with the same free to play model like Let It Die. I still have to finish that game, but then again, I'm thinking, I did some brief research on it, but it feels like that game technically, you can't technically beat it from a story perspective. At least I feel like it just keeps going. I think they also added more content to it on top of that, but either way, it seems like this game is definitely somewhat of a change from Let It Die, where it seems to be 2v1, or like PvPvE or something like that. I think I saw that somewhere. So let's go over the initial description. So in the survival battle arena, Deathverse, I gotta do it. Deathverse, Let It Die. I'm sorry, got something in my throat. Deathverse, Let It Die. You'll compete against players and fight off hazardous in-game foes in player versus environment combat. Use state-of-the-art weaponry to dazzle crowds. Customize your own original character with upgrades you collect and unlock as you cheat death. Outlive your competitors and climb the rankings to become a star. So, I'm curious how much of a departure it is from Let It Die. It feels like from the trailer. Let me actually, I'm gonna play a bit as I'm talking about it. Like, it seems like a lot of the game, it feels very similar to Let It Die, but I'm not sure. It feels like the game is like in enclosed arenas rather than, Dark Souls exploration, like, I guess mechanics similar to Let It Die. But yeah, this, I guess it kind of seems like it could still be similar to Let It Die, but at least what they're showing, it seems like the locations are pretty enclosed and not necessarily fully exploratory, where you can like go from stage to stage. But maybe you can. At least how they're framed in the trailer, at least it seems like it does not seem that way. But it looks to be more of a specific focus, at least going by the description, and it's like PvPvE. I thought that was like just a random, NPC, but I don't know. I guess this is kind of works in its benefit that we don't know what it is, but it looks, either way, I'm definitely going to play it. I'm just curious how different this is from Let It Die. But it does look like a departure. You see a lot of similar animations and stuff like that. So my curiosity is piqued. I'll say that. At first, when they showed the trailer, and it's coming out spring 2022. Okay. At least when they initially started showing the trailer, part of me thought like super random, but I thought the announcer dude or whoever this guy is looked a lot like the dude from the cover of Rogue Trip for the PlayStation 1. Super random, obscure reference, but if you look up the cover art for Rogue Trip for the PlayStation 1, you'll know what I mean. It's like some tourist dude in Hawaiian shirt running from all these cars. It was a pretty dope game. It was like it was essentially a Twisted Metal knockoff, but it was pretty damn fun. I remember having a lot of fun times playing it. Especially there was, I think, one of the few games that actually used, I think it was called a serial port that lets you link, like technically LAN before LAN, where you can like connect to PlayStation consoles and play either, well, I think it was mainly against each other, but that, I think, that concept blew everybody's mind at the time. So super random tangent, but hey, they better pay me. Developers of Rogue Trip probably not still here, but I'm just saying, I'm looking out for you. I'm just looking out. What happened after that? Bug Snacks DLC. I think there's a something island where I'm just assuming it's some more content. Didn't necessarily speak to me. I've not played the original Bug Snacks, so then Five Nights at Freddy's security breach, which how they announced it at the PlayStation the state of play was a little weird, where they were like, what did they say? Oh no, looks like we have a security breach. I'm like, I don't know, Sony. I don't know if you want to make them jokes. I mean, it's been like, it's been, that's kind of weird too. It's like what, probably coming on, no, I might be a little bit over the 10-year anniversary of that PS3 security breach where, PlayStation was essentially hacked and, a lot of data was compromised. And I think PSN was down for like a good 4 to 3 weeks, I want to say. Yeah, 3 weeks to a month. I think they were down. And, that that was catastrophic. I mean, they definitely recovered from it, but I ain't forget. Maybe some other people forget. I haven't forgot. Either way, Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. So it seems to be, of course, for those that are hip to Five Nights at Freddy's, which is like the. I don't want to try to put it in a box, but I have no choice. A streamer game, or let me say streamer friendly game, where it definitely caters to a lot of streamers playing the game. Where you basically have to survive. I think how the whole night playing security for like I think it varies from the game to game in the series. At least from my loose knowledge, I've not played. I don't even think I own any of them, but either way, it seems like this is essentially a kind of a evolution of that, where it looks like you're actually physically navigating around one of these establishments that have I don't even know the term for the band of animatronic animals. I'll call them the Five Nights at Freddy's, I guess, or Freddy's. I don't know. So, not my cup of tea, but I mean, I'm happy for people that are fans of Five Nights at Freddy's. Maybe it's cheap if it's cheap enough. If it's chafed enough, I might. If it a copy of Five Nights at Freddy's looks ashy enough, I might, just out of pity, pick it up. There's a couple other games that at least I don't think is worth mentioning. Actually, you know what? Just to be accurate, Bugsnax, we are OFK, which I think is like it's like some like media series that you just play on your PS4 and 5. I'm not sure if it's, or it might be similar to like a Telltale game. It seemed, at least from the impression they gave us, it seemed like just content you watch in some way, shape, or form, maybe just within a container of a video game. I don't know, but it didn't feel explicitly stated. Either that, or I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. Death's Door. I think give myself a refresher. Got a Crow, isometric exploration game. I think this looked way different from what we thought it was. It was showing some kid, but maybe they changed it up. I think. You got Kart Rider Drift, huh? Move over, Mario Kart. Move over, Sonic Racing. All right. First Class Trouble. Huh? Stepdad trying to connect. I don't know why this stepdad keeps reoccurring, but it's funny to me. First Class Trouble, which I don't know how to describe this. It seems like a, dare I say, potentially Among Us like. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's pretty much Among Us. 6 players enter the game together, but 2 of them are naughty parsonoids, so I would assume they're imposters. Yeah, who can you trust? Yep. So you got that, huh? Star Ocean Divine Force, or my bad, Star Ocean, the Divine Force. You got that. At least first off, I was like, oh shit, is this near? Because they said Square Enix, and then it showed it was very space like and robotic. I'm like, oh shit, is this near? And I was like, oh no, it's not. Just, but then I was looking more at it. I was like, damn, this looks actually pretty dope. Let me got this on my radar. So I think this is definitely, from my brief knowledge of Star Ocean, it seems like a departure from what Star Ocean used to be, which I believe it was like just a traditional turn-based RPG, but it looks like this is actually more action oriented. It seems. I'm thinking like kind of along the lines of like Final Fantasy VII Remake, where maybe you have the option to either do turn or real time. What they say, featuring a story that blends fantasy. It reminded me, a sail. No, fuck. I said a sail. Fuck was a story of two tales. Fuck. A story of two tales to be sold. A story of two tales. Fuck. What is it? Damn it. You know what I mean. Soul Calibur. A story of two tales. Two swords. Fuck. I can't remember it right now. You know what you. If you played it, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. A plethora of different playable characters and side stories. A unique battle system that allows for thrilling fights using simple and instinctive controls. So, Little Devil Inside. I think this is the game I was thinking of. Where you got the kid that was shooting people with his arrow. It seems like it is. No, it looks pretty similar to what we saw before the pre, or I could think the initial PS5 announcement. Seems like a lot of exploration. You got a big overworld map. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then he's fighting yeah, okay. So I'm not sure if we got a release date. Little Devil Inside 2022. So got a gauge. And that was it. And I was like, okay. Devil Inside, I want to see more of it. It's more of this game to, get a verdict, but yeah, at least it felt like it was abrupt when it ended. But then again, I wasn't expecting. I thought it was 40 minutes. So I swore I saw that somewhere that it was going to be 40 minutes, but apparently it was only 20. So I was like, damn, it went by that fast. But at least the highlight for me, definitely Death First Let It Die. Star Ocean looked pretty interesting too. Those were really only the two that I personally was interested in, but it wasn't that much to kind of, I don't know, decipher, I guess. But it is fine. It is what it is. It is what it is. I don't even feel it's right to rate this because it doesn't even feel like. I mean, if that was the if I were to rate it, I would put it as a pretty solid E. With F being a bottom barrel. Only because there were a few games I was like, yeah, I'm interested. Nothing like I'm like, oh man, I gotta play it right now. I have to. I must. No. So pretty disappointing. Pretty disappointing overall. But yeah, we didn't get no Bloodborne remaster remake. That supposedly was a rumor going around that it started picking up that Bloodborne, I think a PC port of Bloodborne, and like a remastered Bloodborne for a PS5, kind of similar to Demon Souls remake, where at least those rumors started resurfacing. Which it was like it was like 15%. I was like, maybe it might happen, maybe. But no, apparently it did not. It didn't see Final Fantasy 16 at all. I feel like at this point, probably Square is gonna have their own dedicated event for that. I would assume it feels like, because you're not gonna keep stringing us along. You're not gonna keep these balls blue. These balls can't be blue forever, right? Jesus. Well, that was it. That was all there was. You know, that was really it. So, anyway, moving on. San Andreas, CJ. We all know him. We all knew him. He was some of our bestest friends growing up. Well, this time you can actually be CJ. At least according to I think Facebook. Facebook had some event today where I think they were announcing their whole rebranding. Kind of similar, at least my knowledge, kind of similar to like Google, when Google like made its own company, Alphabet, that's like its own, I guess, just, how do I describe it? Just, yeah, literally its own company to call it. And with, Google being a strand of that, YouTube and all that. So I'm assuming this is kind of what Facebook is doing. What did they call it? I think they called it Meta, is like Facebook's new company or main company now. And then like, it's probably gonna be something like Meta, Facebook, Oculus, etc. Hopefully it doesn't do the same thing like Google, just start up all these various things and then just drops it when it doesn't catch on immediately. So yeah, well, during that event, next big announcement was that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is coming to Oculus Quest 2. I'm like, what? And then I'm like, how is it gonna work? But I mean, it's definitely a smart choice. It's probably technically the best San Andreas before like the next generation of like line of Grand Theft Auto games. So I'm just like, it's crazy because at least playing Resident Evil 4 VR, which we'll talk about later, it personally is somebody who was very, I wouldn't say very, who was apprehensive of VR, at least specifically like, am I gonna get motion sick? I don't know. Is it actually gonna be that good? Is it just gonna be just, Leon just putting a stick in there? I don't know. But yeah, so safe to say, I'm definitely, after playing RE4 VR, I'm definitely very warmed up to a lot of my favorite games being, remade in VR. So at least with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas coming to VR, how, it's a lot of questions. Like, it's safe to assume that you're going to be first person CJ. How is driving gonna work? And then like, first person in the car and driving. I would assume they probably give you an option to either be first person in a car or third person, for people that might get motion sick. Yeah, there's probably gonna be a lot of options. Maybe potentially you can it just would be counterintuitive, but maybe you could play San Andreas in it'd be the dumbest obtuse way to play it, but literally play San Andreas like you would any like on the PS2, just on your Oculus Quest headset. I guess depending on your situation, it wouldn't necessarily be that obtuse. Like, let's say you don't have a TV or whatever, that actually is a pretty viable option. Now that I think about it, but either way, so I assume if you're driving, which is like a huge component of the game, it's probably something like that. They'll probably give you the option to go third person for whatever moments you maybe choose. But man, Grand Theft Auto is a very ambitious game in of itself, and just translating all that to VR is crazy. And then there's just questions of, and I guess we'll read more. Like, I'm curious if, yeah, that was my biggest question. Who's actually working on this? Like, is it Rockstar? I think, well, it's the same people who made LA Noire, the VR Case Chronicles or Files, which I have not played. I played the, what would you call it? 2D game, vanilla LA Noire, but, that's interesting. LA Noire, the VR Case Chronicles. But yeah, the same people who apparently made this have been working on this version of San Andreas for VR. So, and apparently they've been hiring for it as well. So, this is good. I mean, Resident Evil 4 is one thing, like a linear game, but like a open world game where Resident Evil 4, San Andreas wasn't necessarily buggy that I recall, like blatantly buggy where you can find bugs anywhere. But it's a lot of questions. How are cheat codes gonna work? For cheat codes, do you like squat 2 times, do a 180 spin in the air, do a knee strike? Does that unlock the tank? I'm guessing. Do you spawn a prostitute by just emulating a certain motion 5 times and then they appear? Do you spawn cocaine by just rubbing the Oculus control on your nose? Is that in the works? That'd be funny. Yeah. I feel like we're gonna get there at some point. What is it called? Just gesticulation cheat codes. Where you actually do motions to cheat. Well, yeah, it'd have to be methodical. Where you can't be just doing something and then you accidentally put in a cheat. Like, oh no, I gotta turn right, and then I said put my hand up and spawn hit. I don't know. That would be funny if they did put that in. That'd be pretty great. Would be pretty great. Not particularly the Hitler or whatever. I meant the other stuff. That'd be pretty on brand for like a Rockstar game, I would think. So, man, aiming. I think aiming is gonna be interesting. Like, well, I mean, if it's in first person, and then I would assume maybe they're probably incorporating elements from this upcoming GTA remastered trilogy, and they're probably maybe using a lot of those elements and maybe revamping and modifying stuff from that, because this is supposedly supposed to be all on the Oculus Quest headset. So yeah, I'm definitely not expecting like Grand Theft Auto 5 or anything like that, but yeah, at least from something like GTA remastered, especially if it's going to be on Nintendo Switch. Not saying it's Oculus Quest is weak, that's far from the truth. But yeah, it's a lot of possibilities, man. Yeah, I was like working out, gonna play out. Like, do you literally have to find a bench somewhere and do actual bench presses? How does the karate class work? Doing that, earning extra moves. So many questions. Hopefully, maybe you have interactive cutscenes, not necessarily interactive, but like a new perspective on cutscenes where you can actually, be CJ's eyes or something like that. But then again, I don't know, that may be too ambitious at this point, since I feel like we're still on the dawn of VR. At least in my opinion, VR just started becoming super mainstream after RE4 VR. I know Half-Life Alex was a thing too, but I've yet to jump on that train. But it's crazy, man. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there. VR, it feels like it's starting to catch on, man. Which I'm all for. I'll support, because I mean, it's gonna be a thing at one point or another. So why not embrace it now? Yeah, man. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Doing a drive-by, yeah, that'd be kind of dope though. You driving and maybe you just simply just look while you're driving and shoot. That's kind of dope. Wow. Kind of thinking about that. That's pretty dope. You don't have to, hold L1 and hope you shoot them, and just hope the bullet spray and pray, essentially. But yeah, just being able to simply look out your car while you're driving and still having that real world quote unquote real world experience if you've done drive-bys before. I mean, not that I've done that. No. So, you can learn to do a drive-by. Oh, crap. You know what that just popped in my head. I'm just rolling my eyes thinking about it now. Is all the legislation and political people are gonna like hop on this when this comes out. Like, Grand Theft Auto is now, it's more realized, and then kids are actually getting more violent because they're actually being able to emulate these emotions. I see it already. I can see it already, people. I'm annoyed. Now I'm annoyed by the whole thing now, because that politicians are gonna run this game to the ground, I would assume. Hot coffee, and then now San Andreas with VR. You can actually you can actually emulate putting your hand down during fellatio. That is controversial. That is not content we should be having on our platforms. Ugh, that's gonna be annoying. All in all, though, I'm down for it. I'm just saying. Okay. Let me do drive-bys that I've never done in real life. Okay. Let me experience shooting people while I'm driving. Like, come on now. Well, that kind of ruined my mood, knowing that it's gonna happen. Trust it's gonna happen. Anyway, moving on. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Why would I say that? Well, it's funny you say that. So of course the rumor man himself, Jeff Grubb, in terms of video game news, video game rumors as well, had spawned the rumor that, you know what, that's actually the wrong one. Never mind. Actually, it's multiple, to be honest. So, actually, the first rumor was apparently NetherRealm is going to be making well, just straight up a Smash Brothers clone, similar to Nickelodeon All Stars. You know, basically making a platform fighter with pretty much all WB characters. So, I mean, surprisingly, at least like Space Jam really opened my eyes. Space Jam 2 really opened my eyes to this, that WB has a lot of damn IPs under them. So, fuck. At least going by Space Jam 2. Fucking all of Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes, Matrix, Game of Thrones. Fuck. It's a lot. It's a lot. DC. Mortal Kombat. Damn. It's a lot, actually. Goodness. That's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. But either way, apparently, yeah, that is in the works. I think there were some quote unquote confirmed characters that will definitely be in the game, at least starting off. Those are supposedly, which is funny, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Zoinks. Zoinks, well, you just got mixed. That's my poor attempt at a Shaggy impression. Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. I think he's the "You shall not pass." I've not watched. I think I watched the first movie. That's it. I'm sorry. Tom and Jerry. It's gonna be. It's a lot of meme potential. It's a lot of meme potential. Batman. Fred Flintstone. Wilma. Mad Max. I forgot fucking Harry Potter and Harry Potter and Ron. And Ron are apparently in, but the rights are weird, so they stopped development on them. Not going to lie, this may have been said in jest. This is from the infamous Reddit gaming links and rumors. Johnny Bravo. So I guess that incorporates all of Cartoon Network stuff, I guess. So, huh. I mean, based off that roster alone, it is some potential. I mean, I said it on Twitter. It better be they better put Neo in here. I mean, that's a given. That's a given. I mean, you got, how you gonna have another Warner Brothers fighters without Neo, the one? I'm just saying. he comes in from jacking in the Matrix. Oh, the potential is there, definitely. So yeah, at least the rumor started out that apparently this was being made by NetherRealm Studios, who are the people who develop Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat games, and Injustice. So, but I think that rumor was debunked, and there is some other team that's working on this. So, yeah. But man, I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, just the spectacle of it is impressive in of itself, I think. You know, I mean, Smash Brothers isn't Smash Brothers without that immaculate roster, you know? The iconic characters that you want to play as, that you've grown up to and been a fan of. I'm down. I'm totally down. Freaking Mortal what? Ultra Instinct Shaggy potential is almost there. Zoink Scoop. You just got Zoink Scoop. I'm trying. Zoink Scoop, you just got fucked up. you gotta have Scooby Doo in there. How you gonna have Shaggy without Scooby Doo? The DLC potential would be crazy too. Yeah, I believe it. I totally believe it. Yeah, I think it's a great idea for a game. I'd get it for sure. Not even, being a huge fighting fan, I definitely would get it just for the spectacle, really. You know, sign me up. Sign me up. Sign me all the way up, please. Please. Moving on. I'll pretend this didn't happen. Uh, somebody told me while I was walking the street one day, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, and I'm like, who? What? I'm lying. So yeah, what I was saying earlier, also by of course Jeff Grubb, is that supposedly rumor has it that well, there's a Wu-Tang Clan Wu-Tang Clan game in the works. Apparently it's gonna be like a Xbox exclusive, which that's something I didn't see. But apparently it's a thing. Wu-Tang Clan game. I think first the rumors started that no, it's not actually the rap group Wu-Tang Clan, that it's actually Wu-Tang the fighting style game. But then they said that it will have literal music from Wu-Tang Clan in it, so that at least seems to likely, add credence that it actually is a game with the actual Wu-Tang Clan. And, especially considering the one game they did have previously on like the PlayStation 1, I recall, like, I forgot what it was called, Wu-Tang. Let me look it up. What was it called? Wu-Tang Shaolin Style. Wu-Tang Shaolin Style. Look at those screenshots. Oh yeah, I forgot there was they had the straight up Wu-Tang controller, literally the Wu-Tang iconography fully realized into a controller. Apparently it was a PlayStation 1. Oh, this might be just modded, but either way. I think it looks to be like a 4-person brawler, or arena battle game. Where straight up Wu-Tang Clan game. So yeah, I'm down though. I'd be down. Sign me up. Get beat some ass to some straight up Wu-Tang, man. Doing some combos to freaking Wu-Tang's Triumph. What? Don't let the damn startup screen start with Triumph. Don't even do that to me, okay? Don't play with me like that. don't you dare. Fucking doing 10-hit combos to Cream. Come on now. Come on now. Cat rule everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Sign me up. They actually bring the Wu-Tang controller back. Come on now. Don't you dare. Xbox would totally do it. I could see, especially the form factor of the Xbox. Well, I'm thinking of the original Xbox controller, and then they've been like making a revised version of the OG Xbox controller. Just, form it up a little bit. It'd be a done deal. Be a straight up done deal. So yeah, that'd be pretty dope. Xbox Game Pass exclusive. I'd believe it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. I totally would. I totally would. I totally would. Would everybody collectively though? That's the question. But it would be a perfect Game Pass game, I think, in particular. So we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Hey, cash. Let me stop. I'm just keep repeating songs and lyrics, but you get the point. For those that don't know, Wu-Tang Clan is a very popular rap group back in the day. Very iconic. You know, yeah, that's that. I mean, it really is not anymore needing to be said. You know, so moving on. Where's my missing some stuff? Did I? Huh. I'm missing some stuff. Either way. So, Halo Infinite. We finally got some details on the campaign trailer. And man, it is pretty dope. Pretty damn dope. I'm really liking it. I'm liking what I saw. The potential is definitely there. I guess now at this point it's a matter of them delivering, which we'll see. But yeah, man. Let me pull this back. Let me pull this up. Just to refresh my memory. Need to refresh the memory. I think it premiered earlier this week. Let's see. Campaign overview. So Cortana is back. I think they showed her in the initial reveal. They showed who's that dude? I'm gonna just call him who's that damn dude from Star Wars? Fucking damn it! What is his name? I think Paulo Garcia. I'm close. I know I'm close. Damn it. Star Wars. Was it Poe? Poe Dameron. What is the dude's name? What is his name? Oscar Isaac. Wow, I was totally off. Straight up Oscar Isaac. They put Oscar Isaac in Halo Infinite. If they ever make a movie for Halo and they get to this point, that's straight up Oscar Isaac. If they give that to anybody else, it's a loss. Anyway, Oscar Isaac being in the game aside, with all but his name aside, they did show like some of the open worldness. They showed a little bit of with the initial trailer that people weren't too fond of, but they did at least show a bit of the concept that it is going to be a little bit more open world. But they definitely fully showed it now, where you seem to have a lot more flexibility in terms of what you want to do for particular missions, what missions you want to tackle first, like a traditional Grand Theft Auto game or any other kind of open world game. So you got that. They showed the brutes. Did I see hunters in here? I think you did get the option to choose whichever vehicle you want to use to navigate the environment. Oh, I forgot one thing they did show. Like it felt like there was like intentionally throwing shade at Battlefield, where when Battlefield did their I think initial trailer where they showed somebody jumping off a plane and parachuting and landing on another plane, and what was it? No, they were flying towards another plane, ejected, had a fucking rocket launcher and shot the plane in midair, and then landed back into their original plane. So it seemed like Halo had some answer response to their thing, since they're not necessarily directly being released to each other, but I think they're pretty close. But either way, their at least Halo's answer to that was I think Master Chief was in a bungee and he ejected, and then had a grapple hook and was able to jumped out midair, grapple hooked on the Banshee, hijacked it, and just destroyed that poor soul that thought he was gonna. he woke up this morning next to his alien wife. He's like, you know what, honey, I'm gonna get Master Chief one day. I'm gonna get him. I think this is the day, and it was the opposite. R.I.P. R.I.P. to that guy. He not gonna see the days. But they did show the cores. I think you could play it in the beta. The big cores that you can throw, and like throwing it and explodes on impact as well, which is pretty dope. They do show like progression of the equipment that at least would be traditionally in the multiplayer. It seems like there is some more evolution to it in the single player campaign, where I'm assuming you can upgrade it, maybe potentially like that drop shield might be like a straight up bubble shield if you probably upgrade it. That'd be a pretty dope exclusive single player like item that you could kind of aspire to playing the campaign. But I don't know, man. Overall, I'm impressed. The showing the camo, they using the grapple hook a lot, and I'm not even mad at it because I'm really a fan of the grapple hook. It is pretty dope. It doesn't seem to change the fundamentals of what Halo is. Like I was saying towards at least playing the multiplayer beta maybe a month or so ago, that it doesn't feel like it fundamentally changes like the essence of what Halo has always been, but also oh, never mind, wait a minute, okay, I'm seeing it now. So let me rewind that. I misremembered it clearly. So okay, so Master Chief flying on a Banshee, jumps out the Banshee, shoots one of the Banshees, destroys it, and then grapple hooks on the other Banshee, jacks his ass, and flies off, and then shoots his. Oh, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. I didn't even know it was that disrespectful. But straight up, a sly little, I don't know, little, nudge to Battlefield. It seems like. But oh yeah, it's I think they recently delayed Battlefield 2. But either way, yeah. So man, I'm looking forward to it. They I think they showed what is called the Prophet. I think is the Prophet. Forerunner or Prophet, one of those. So yeah, the potential is definitely there. The graphics are where they should be, personally, I think, even though graphics aren't a big deal breaker for me personally. I wasn't too, off put by the infinite graphics, but I mean, I see people's issue with it. But I don't know, man. The potential's there. It is a bummer that we're not gonna get like co-op, on release. I mean, initially, I generally don't play co-op on release anyway. I generally like to play by myself when it comes to that, but potential is there, man. It's there. Hopefully they can deliver. Hopefully they can hit it home. Cause damn it, 343 and Xbox do need it, admittedly. So I'm impressed. As a bit of a bias, but as a longtime Halo fan, I'm impressed. So take that for what you will. Moving on. Next topic of discussion. Returnal. One of definitely my memorable games of this year for sure. Is actually getting and may have gotten already an update that I think has been a long running demand for a lot of people that played the game and don't have a lot of time to commit to do, but basically issue a lot of folks were having with Returnal, which I totally understand, is that the game technically, well, it does have a save system, but it saves certain elements of progress. But a lot of people actually wanted the game to actually save mid run, and by run I mean, basically technically at least the idea is to beat the whole game in one run, which technically I guess it's a lot of variables that come into play, but technically it's pretty long generally speaking. So depending on how you approach it, I guess that's the best way to really describe it. But that, which has been an issue for a lot of folks. So at least Housemark, I'm pretty sure the developers of this game, at least when this initially came out, they advise people to, you can just suspend your PS5. But I mean, the issue with that, at least going from personal experience, is that let's say an update comes around, and that PS5 is going to update whether you like it or not. So at least in that scenario, if you are doing a run and want to just suspend it and you'll come back later, if you do that, it will actually it will automatically close your game in order to update, and of course lose any progress you had, any momentum you had gone any good streak you had, any good weapon you found, start over. You could find another one. So but at least now with this new 2.0 update, they actually do provide mid-run saving, which is, I think, been a big request. Obviously, go by what I described before, but at least for people that were on the fence because of that, you now no longer have no fear. You can pause and save to your heart's content. I think they said there were some caveats that are totally understandable. Let me read them. I think you can't save while you're fighting a boss, which is pretty understandable. What was it? Can't save during a boss. Can't save during the boss battles, cinematics, first person sequences, which are like kind of story parts of the game, or during intense combat scenarios. So I'm assuming that's just traditional combat, because at least how the game is, you go to different areas and fight certain enemies. So I'm guessing, understandably so, you can't save during those, which you could see the potential where somebody could exploit that I'd see maybe mainly speedrunners that maybe would potentially try to exploit that, but then again, speedrunners are gonna speedrun whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, they gonna find a way. They gonna find some convoluted way. I think what somebody used the PS5's I forgot what they call it. It was either cards where, depending on the game, they allocate certain spots in a game. I think, like for example, Demon Souls, they give you, it was some area. It's certain areas that you can quick travel to through the menu of the PS5. That at least I think some speed runs I was watching a while back that they can technically exploit to, like, skip certain areas and stuff like that, which is, it's pretty fascinating from from that angle. But either way, hey, if you was on the fence about Returnal, you have no excuse now. They they finally squashed that save. Well, I understand at that standpoint because, yeah, that save is gone. As somebody who was burned by that save update patch, whatever. But fortunately, I wasn't too far in the game where I was like, it's not that big a deal. I'll just start over. So, but you also, of course, get photo mode. Yeah. It is in effect. Photo mode is in effect. So yeah, pretty dope update. Better late than never. At least they figured it out. So, hey, Returnal fans, rejoice. Moving on. Damn it, if I can put the correct code, number, time code, my bad. Overwatch. So just a weekly reminder that Activision is a pretty down bad company that has let a lot of shitty stuff go and pass, and they are definitely paying for it, at least currently, in terms of reputation standpoint. But yeah, in their very these shameless efforts to try and make themselves seem well, I guess separate themselves from the issue rather than, actually, what's the term? Something about cutting a snake, but the snake, if you don't cut his head off, is going to keep growing, or something like that. At least in this case, that seems to be very similar to what's happening with Overwatch. So for those that don't know, I think we talked about it before, was that the character in Overwatch, one of the heroes, I think, is it Jesse Mcree? Basically, they're renaming the character to Cole Cassidy. Let me try that. Cole Cassidy. So, yeah. Yeah. I forgot, what did they describe? And then on top, I feel like this is deliberate because it's like they made it a video, but you can barely see what's in the description. So let's read this description real quick. First thing a renegade loses in their name is their name, and this one gave up his long ago. Running from his past meant running from himself, and each passing year only widened the divide between who had been and what had become, I guess. But in every cowboy's life, there comes a time when he has to stop and make a stand. I don't like the way this is going. To make this new Overwatch better, to make things right, he had to be honest with his team and himself. The cowboy he was rolled. He was rolled. the cowboy he was rolled in. Okay, the cowboy he was rolled into the sunset, and Cole Cassidy faced the world at dawn. So apparently, Mcree was some alias name that he was using when his real name was Cole Cassidy. But at least in the real world, they're just trying to disassociate themselves from the name of who this character was named after, who was I guess apparently a very shitty person that sexually harassed and all other very not cool shit. So yeah, I don't know, man. This just feels very brush under the carpet vibes to me. You know, they're just trying I don't know, cover whatever they have going, just to cover whatever they had going, just to make themselves look that less scummy. Kind of similar to what they're doing, I think, with Call of Duty Vanguard. I think we talked about it briefly before. Was that, you know, with their cover art, and I'm assuming physical copies, is that they are they totally omitted their name on the box art. That, you know, you you have to look at the fine print that this is actually made by Activision. So this seems to be yet another effort to try to do that. At least while we on the semantics, though, I mean, I'm just saying, could have been you know, hear ye McGee. I'm just, you know, hear ye McGee. That's all I'm saying. Shout outs to my friends in a group chat where somebody suggested shoots McGee, which is that's actually pretty good. I very much respect it. I'd take either of those over Cole Cassidy, but it's fine. I mean, technically it's not fine in the context of why they're doing this, but I mean, I accept the change. Not in that way, but I mean, people still don't call Mcree, you know. It's like the damage technically has been done. This just feels like it feels scummy in of itself, you know what I mean? But hey, just a friendly reminder that Activision is a shitty company. So there you go. Yeah. With that note, and I guess, well, I mean, on that note, that's more accurate. That concludes all the news for this week. Let's talk about what I've been gaming. What I've been doing. What I've been gaming. Lost Judgment. Been playing a bit of that. Thoroughly enjoying it, of course. Playing more, getting deeper into the school stories. I think they're called school stories, which, you know, I've talked about before. Nothing necessarily notable, I guess, to you know, discuss. But hey, I mean, I'm enjoying it. You know, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Also played what is it called? Dark Pictures Anthology, which, for those that don't know, Dark Pictures Anthology is a collection or volume of what feels like mini stories, which are pretty much horror kind of based, made by the people Supermassive, who also made probably one of the best games they made, Until Dawn. But this is their anthology. I'm gonna do it again. Anthology series, where they started. The first one was Man of Medan. I think we talked about that. And then Little Hope was their second one, and House of Ashes is the third one that just came out that I played pretty much a good amount of this week, and finished it. These aren't really, huge commitments. At least I guess the format to think of them as Telltale games, where they're like interactive movies, really, interactive movies with QTEs, via QTEs, where if you don't tap that X button enough, hey, that boy Nick is gonna die. And it does have that same kind of I guess template as the Until Dawn game, where technically you could kill everybody in the game, or you can depending on the choices you make, you can either kill like literally everybody's on the table to be killed, or you can save everybody as well. So it is the traditional kind of trial and error, where at least your first playthrough, you're more than likely gonna fuck something up, and some choice that at least in your thought process you think would be fine, at least in terms of the intentions, but at least in a chapter way down the line, it ends up biting you in the ass and killing one of your characters in some convoluted way that's like, really? Okay, all right. And then you have to in turn play the game again to discover, what if I say no to this person? What if I what if I don't take the stick of gum he offers? So it's a lot of cool what I find interesting dynamics, kind of similar to choose your own adventure books, where you which way do you want to go, right? You died, fuck, gotta go back. Essentially that's House of Ashes / the Dark Pictures Anthology. So at least this one, House of Ashes, is, at least the plot is that you're CIA agents and military infiltrating this base. I think they were under suspicion that it was like a drug bust or something like that. Then totally does not end up being a drug bust at all. So I won't spoil anything in regards to like the plot from that standpoint, but it's definitely my favorite Dark Pictures Anthology game of the series so far. So I just really liked a lot of the characters and dynamics that come into play. So at least, for example, the plot of this game takes place in, I think, 2003. So at least they do acknowledge like 9/11, and that does, there are some like themes in this game, that kind of refers to that. And there is like a character in the game that is from the Islamic side, and that it becomes an interesting dynamic where initially it starts out as them fighting, but then it comes to a situation where there's some unknown horror threat that the phrase they they use, pretty common in the game, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that definitely comes to fruition very much in this one. So pretty fun game overall. Interactive movie. It probably one of my gripes, kind of reflecting on it, I think I beat it last night, was the it is like a pet peeve of mine when playing games, is just, I kind of get where they're coming from, but essentially letterboxing my TV in terms of for the game, where it's like, excuse me, can you just let me use the full real estate of my screen rather than cropping my TV for quote unquote cinematic experience? But the TV I have is capable of cinematic experience, so why do you need to unnecessarily cut off more of my screen that's, unnecessary. I know for, movies, they use a totally different format, which forces your screen at home for home viewing to be letterboxed or widescreen. But for games, I don't think you can get that much of a pass, considering everything. And I thought maybe it was just based on the different modes, because I got the PS5 version where they give you an option for a performance and I think graphics mode. I choose performance because I want that frame rate. I'm not sure how it is for the PS4 version, but I assume you're just confined to 30 FPS or something like that. But either way, it was a little bit of a gripe. Of course, after you play it for a while, you get used to it. But I feel like I wish I could see more of the game that I kind of invested in. You know what I mean? So nitty, very particular gripe, but I mean a gripe nonetheless, in my opinion. Just you can totally have the widescreen, but just give me the option to turn it off if I don't want to have it. That's all I'm saying. It didn't necessarily add more to the experience. It just made it it just made it that much harder to see stuff because my original screen real estate is now minimized because you added these two black bars on the top and bottom of the game. So a bit of a gripe, but I mean, what can you do? Oh yeah, another gripe. I mean, it's kind of the nature of the game, but at the same time, it is still annoying. And they've done this pretty much throughout all of their game history. It feels like is that it is. There are certain moments in the game where you have to press a button prompt, whether it be press tap said button or survive, how many times to survive, press this button within a very short time limit. But what's freaking annoying is that some particular distinct moments they'll knock like a couple milliseconds off for you to press a button, and you definitely feel it, that it feels deliberate, that like they're doing that so you will miss it because you don't know what button it is. It's not random, but at least obviously your first playthrough you won't know what button to press. But at least in my experience, at least playing some of the chapters over again to out of curiosity to see the different results. But at least with this game, it is annoying that they will intentionally like cut like at least a clean 2 seconds off a couple of select scenes that will totally fuck you up and literally force you to replay a chapter because you want the result that a lot of people will want, which is positive, and have to do it. And then that's the other gripe that kind of comes hand in hand with this, is that because of that, oh fuck, now I gotta replay that chapter. And that's kind of one thing I wish they did with this game, is that they give you more options to go back to where you messed up, rather than like force you to literally play like a chapter again, which pretty much adds like 30 to 20 minutes of your time to get back up to whatever point you were trying to do. And then if you fuck it up again, well, you guessed it, you have to go all the way back to the chapter and play it again, which I think it's one or the other. Either make it easier to do the button prompts and not just randomly make one harder in like a much shorter time than the other ones that will force you to play it again, which it's very apparent in some of these. So yeah, it's annoying. I mean, you can get around it, and I could tell the intention of the design, but at the same time, it's kind of cheap. in my opinion. It feels cheap where they're like trying to force you to play, add more playtime to the game, which I don't think, given the type this type of game, is unnecessary in my opinion. But that's not just this game. It's been an issue with the previous games as well, and it seems to be intentionally by design, which is kind of annoying. But either way, I did finish a playthrough and got everybody out alive. So, but then I found out, I think there is apparently a particular choice you need to make that's all the way at the beginning of the game that will get you some better in-depth endings, I think, which I don't know. I'm tempted to do it, but I don't know. I will say, at least compared to like Little Hope and some of the other games, this is definitely one where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to get this. You know what? I'm gonna play it myself to kind of see what happens, rather than, at least like, I think for Man of Medan and Little Hope, I like straight up after I beat it, I'm like, I don't really want to play it again. I think there were some moments where I died. I'm like, let me go back and try that again instantly, rather than after I beat the game and try to go back and revert that way. But with this one, I actually wanted to play the stuff again to see the outcomes, rather than like, just straight up look up a YouTube video and just get the truncated version of what are these choices. If I didn't do this, how would this change this scenario? Which I think they do a good job of that, where it's like, it is fun to see, man, fuck, if I just did this, maybe this wouldn't have happened. And I'm curious how that would have played out, which I think this game does a really good job of, enticing that curiosity of, what if, what would happen if you did said thing, what would be the outcome. So overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. Yeah, this is definitely, I'd say, maybe second best to Until Dawn as far as the supermassive catalog is so far. And I don't know why I thought this was the last one. I thought something fell short with them, that this was actually going to be a 5-part anthology, but I guess it's only going to be 4, and this is the 3rd one. And I think they made the news either way, but once you beat it, I guess it's kind of the tradition of the anthology is they'll show you what the trailer of the next game in the series is going to be, in which they did show, I forgot, I think it's the devil within me, which excuse me, it seems like a kind of a Saw type of ripoff, which I'm totally down for, to be honest. Hey, if they do it right, I think the potential is there. So I'm very curious to see what that is, and that apparently is going to be the end of what they referred to as season 1 of this anthology. So apparently there's going to be a whole nother season, which I wasn't expecting. So something must have turned up, I guess. At least they made it seem like this was just going to be the last of it, but maybe it just was a last minute decision / change, if I'd guess. I don't know. So yeah, man, I do recommend, if you are a fan of horror movies, and of course, obviously, 'tis the season. I forgot, October is coming. The the scantily clad outfits about to come out. a lot of Squid Game outfits are a lot of Squid Game people you gonna see running around. But yeah, I'd say perfect Halloween game to play for sure. Thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Really did. I do recommend it if you are into that type of game, or quote unquote game. So yeah. Moving on. Of course. played Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 VR, which is man. I'm gonna tell you off the bat, this game alone really sold me on the sustainability of VR for sure, hands down. I really believe this game is definitely the killer app for VR. I do recommend. Considering if you aren't haven't messed with VR and at least haven't gotten motion sick or whatever, having debilitating motion sickness and stuff with VR, highly recommend getting the Oculus Quest for RE for VR, because yeah, man, this is definitely a very vivid look at like what we're going towards for like games in the future for sure. Because at least for me, I've talked about it before with getting an Oculus Quest before VR, but at least going into more depth, this is technically like my first legit game I've played in VR. You know what I mean? Like a full AAA like VR experience that I've played, and it is really good. As also, I mean, of course, there's some bias here. I think it's safe to say Resident Evil 4 is my favorite video game of all time. At least currently, it has been for a good while. If not top 5, if if I'm a gun to my head, whatever. But with that in mind, either way, and I mean, you think as somebody whose this game is my favorite of all time, I'm gonna be super critical of it in terms of like, oh, this ain't right, this is off, this is totally not it. You know what I mean? So, as somebody this is like my favorite game of all time. I haven't fully beat it yet, but I'm pretty deep in the game. I'm like, yeah, about 10 hours in, and yeah, man, you could really feel the love and care they put towards this game, hands down. It is like so much damn love and care put into this game. This is made by Armature Studios, who I think they've had a good track record of translating a couple games in the past. And let me look them up real quick. I'm trying to remember what game they made before this. Where the Heart Leads, Arc Genesis. I thought they helped port some other game. It was some notable game I thought they helped work on. Oh, they did. They ported Bayonetta and Vanquish to PS4 and Xbox One. Oh, they helped with Fortnite. Recore, Blackman, Arkham Origins, and Black Fate. That was it. That was the big one. Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. They ported the Vita version of the game. That was the big thing that I recall. They imported Injustice: A Gods Among Us for PS Vita as well. They ported Unfinished Swan to PS4. So they definitely, this ain't their first rodeo. So they definitely have a very good track record of porting previous experiences to new platforms. But I think this is like probably the most ambitious project they probably have done. I think it's safe to say, and they did it very well. I wholeheartedly agree. It's crazy. Like, as somebody who's played in it, spanning all of the platforms of the crazy amount of platforms Resident Evil 4 came out on, I've probably played the game beginning to end in my lifetime probably a good at least 60 times. At least a good 60 times. So at least, with that in mind, and playing this in VR, it totally fucking feels like playing Resident Evil 4, which is really crazy for me to say, playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time, which is fucking great for me personally as somebody who loves this game in general. But man, the fucking playing this for the first time, playing this in VR, the fucking grin I had on my face, man. I was cheesing hella hard playing this for the first time. Fucking getting a damn MP5 and fuck. I'm about to gush. I don't even care. But playing being able to reload the fucking gun, literally accurately reloading it, getting a clip from your literally getting it from your belt, putting it in a gun, cocking the hammer back and shooting it, and then I freaking discover that you can like do some freaking John Woo Matrix shit, and like you can literally toss the clip in the air, have the clip be caught within the gun and reloaded that way. That is the best thing, and it is very good, very accurate, no issues with tracking in motion. I will say the one caveat though with it, which is very understandable, is if you are seated, I did run into issues if you're doing, I think, immersive mode while seated, where it does become a little problematic if you are a bigger person. And I think also depending on your seating, like if like I was in a recliner doing this, I don't know if you're like in a traditional like dining table chair, if it may be more not as problematic. But there was a scenario specifically with the typewriter, which fuck, I forgot about the damn typewriter. So you can literally when you save the game, you can literally type on the typewriter physically and type, whatever happened. So at least for me, I'm just stating the obvious is what happened in the game. Like when Leon saved Ashley from the building, jumped out, and I just said scrape my knee. I just scraped my knee, and then you could literally just specify the saves, which is fucking dope. Whoever just spawned that idea, you deserve everything in the world. You deserve all the nasty sex you can have. I'm just saying. So that alone is great. But yeah, at least if you're sitting down and typing, at least in my situation, my attempt was sitting on a recliner while having the headset and playing seated, which they said you should be able to do. But at least for me, specifically for that's where I ran into an issue where literally the typewriter's like jammed into my stomach and I literally can't type at all. So at least somebody, I was on the forums, Reset Era, where I was talking about it, discussing that issue, and somebody did propose that at least a pro tip is that you can lean forward, like if you're sitting, at least specifically for this typewriter, lean forward and hold the Oculus button, which if you hold it, it will refresh your position and essentially just reset you if you like are out of orientation or whatever. So at least in that case, you can use that to your advantage, and it'll actually push the keyboard back a bit where you can actually type in that way. It's still a little inconvenient where you have to do that every time you want to save. But then again, I guess if you want to lose out on the typing and awesome ass novelty of typing a save out, you could just save and it'll overwrite, but it'll keep whatever name that way, which is, a fine kind of constellation either way. So Yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, grenades, which grenades are technically on your chest, but if you're sitting, it can be a little weird. At least what I did that actually helped for me is that I tilt forward a little bit when I want to get a grenade, tilt forward, grab my chest, grab a grenade, and then I can, throw it that way. So that was really it in terms of issues having specifically seating in immersive mode. But I'm guessing if you do the different mode, you won't run into that issue. But I mean, come on, immersive mode personally is where it's at. But there are really great solutions for people that do have issues with accessibility from specifically, motion sickness. They did have a lot of really, at least what I would assume from my experience, helpful experience for, people that do easily get motion sick. At least in my experience, at least I'm very thankful that I discovered that I do not get motion sick at all. Yes, thank you. Yes, yes. I'm ready for the future. But yeah, I guess all playing games all the time, all these first person shooters, maybe helped, maybe. But yeah, so there are a lot of cool options, like you can teleport, which I guess is a common solution for people that do get motion sick. I think you do miss out on a little bit doing that in terms of like moving and shooting, which I mean technically that's a huge ass fundamental change for Resident Evil, but I think it kind of evens it out being in VR where you are kind of limited from a viewing standpoint too. So it's kind of give or take really, but yeah, man, you could toss you got your trusty knife, you could toss it in the air and catch it with your hand. It's so good. I you see the freaking Twitter people, video folks that be like record really dope sick action footage in game. It was a dude had a egg, got an egg, which you can do in the original game. You can actually throw eggs at people. I think if you have a golden egg, which is super rare in the game, if you throw it at somebody, it instantly kills them. I want to say. I have to look into that theory. Maybe that's an urban myth. I don't know. But either way, threw an egg at the dude, tossed his gun in the air, caught it in his hand, shot the dude. I think he actually magically got a critical hit, which is an instant headshot with the first hit. Which is kind of has that again a rare chance as well. So, is really good, and they definitely translated a lot of stuff that does make sense to do in VR, like turning cranks, opening cases or whatever with stuff in it. You actually grab stuff, which is dope. At least they do cater to people so you don't have to go all the way down. That would fucking suck. Literally having to go just crouch all the way down to grab an object. My God. Either way, they do like pop the item up and then let you grab it that way, which works pretty damn well. Fucking everything works. Just it's like mind blowing how crazy they like successfully translated this game to VR, and everything just works. It's like it's hard to believe, especially as like a fan of this game, my favorite game of all time, and they really did a good job. Freaking the Del Lago fight is like pretty different. I could see people getting really fucking motion sick from that though. For me, I didn't have an issue, but I was literally played it like I would play it in a traditional third person. But it's definitely an adjustment. You have to be, moving the boat while shooting the damn Del Lago at the same time. But man, they really did it. I'm like surprised. I thought there was gonna be some like really it's gotta be some downside, but man, they really did it. This is, in my opinion, this is the killer app for VR right now. I mean, and then you got San Andreas coming too, but I mean, this is this is ultimately the game that got me to get a VR, and fuck, it did pay off, man. It really did. When you have the conversations and you press the button and it gives you the you actually, it plays it while you're viewing it on the tablet, which is so much little dope details, and it's really like experiencing the game all over again for me, which I'm totally loving, man. I can't stop gushing about this game enough. But man, this game made me a believer of VR. I mean, they did it, man. I'm a believer. I have fully been converted. I've been converted. I don't know the, so yeah, I have now joined the side, the VR side. Man, it is really good, man. I cannot praise this game enough so far from when I played. So very curious to see how some fights play out. Hopefully it will be really dope to play it in VR. My biggest kind of hope is I don't think it's gonna happen. I haven't spoiled myself yet, but is playing the Krauser fight, if you know what I mean. Would be pretty dope playing that in VR and not in cutscene form, but I the pessimist in me thinks that's not gonna happen. It's just gonna be a cutscene and you have to do the motion thing, which is, that's one thing too about this game, is that pretty much the game plays out cutscene wise pretty much how it has been. It just goes into cinema mode and you just watch a big screen, relative to your VR of the cutscenes that would be in the traditional game, that way, which kind of is unfortunate in terms of like, it would have been cool if you can like, literally see everything from Leon's eyes in terms, especially the cutscenes, but I feel like that definitely would be a huge undertaking in of itself. So understandable. And they are a bit more lenient in terms of quick time events. If you don't like quick time events, I mean, it's fine. I'm a big supporter of quick time events, but I understand people, especially, of course, accessibility as well, where, you have to tap, and obviously everybody can't tap, especially that quickly in a certain time or whatever. Which, holding the button to, do stuff like that is totally fine. But they are way more lenient with quick time events. They give you a little bit of a couple of milliseconds to like, hey, this is about to happen, you better react, rather than like RE4 where he's like, you better know what the fuck you're doing. If not, you're gonna die. And there's some very soul crushing ones that I, in my experience playing the games, that you do run into. But at least in these ones, they are alleviated, and I think you can ultimately omit them completely in this VR version too. So the bottle cap challenges are fun as hell, and translated very well to VR. I was sharing on Twitter that the bottle caps are interactive now, which is so dope. You can literally grab the bottle caps and see them, and then play the audio clips for them. I was having too much fun. I was making beats with my bottle cap characters. Who doesn't make beats with action figure phrases and characters? Don't judge me. I'm loving this game. So so good. So good. So good. So good. I'm sorry, I have to get that point across, but man, I cannot praise Resident Evil 4 VR. If you play Resident Evil 4 and you liked it, if you haven't played Resident Evil 4, you're curious and, haven't necessarily played VR and maybe you might like it, highly recommend you get an Oculus Quest for Resident Evil 4 VR. It is hands down killer app for VR. Worth the price of admission, in my opinion. Of course, with some bias as a huge fan of Resident Evil 4, but at the same time, I'm gonna be hella critical of it. Any weird difference I noticed, I'm gonna pick up instantly. Which I think we talked about it maybe before, but that is one other thing, is that it's understandable. It doesn't compromise the game too much, but they definitely made some very interesting changes to the game in terms of dialogue choices that are a little this might be a little creepy, which is understandable. You know, the one phrase with Lewis hitting on Ashley before the cabin fight, like, oh, you got ballistics too, and I'm like, that's Lewis, I don't. She's 18, man. That's a little. Let's not. So they omitted some of those phrases, but they weren't too critical to the game, so it's fine. After coming across most of them, it's fine. I read up on it beforehand to see the changes too, so maybe that kind of benefited in my favor as well. But they're fine. It's not that bad in my opinion. So at least this goes to show, man, it's just this game, the force, the mystical force of the greatness of this game. I literally play it every year. I try to play it every year at least. Man, it is good. I can't wait now after I beat it. There are some dope options where you can play without the what is it? You can play without the laser, the aiming dot, and you can actually force yourself with the traditional movement options like the tank controls, which think I'm definitely gonna do that, because I mean, playing it as somebody who's like knows the game in and out and playing it now in VR, you know, they literally have pretty much not changed the thing in terms of like item placements and stuff like that. So feels literally like just the original game, but in VR now, which is the best scenario. But it definitely feels on the easier side. And mind you, I'm playing on normal. They don't let you play professional until you presumably beat the game, which I think that's kind of been the case with the previous games anyway too. So yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to playing in pro, but it feels definitely way easier now that you can move and shoot, and not to mention you can dual wield weapons as well. So you can have a pistol one hand, a shotgun in one hand. You would have to, with the shotgun, you have to cock it, you know, to reload it, put another shot in, which is obviously accurate to real life too. So it is a couple of cool things too that you can find out that are, you know, little new found like cool tricks. I guess one pro tip is that I learned is that actually in terms of upgrading your weapons, which, you know, the rule of thumb when upgrading your weapon is definitely waiting on upgrade your ammo, which at least in this case you can do that, but at least specifically with the shotgun, I think most of them, the first two I want to say, you can literally cock the shotgun to expel the shotgun shells. So let's say if you somebody who is getting a little has been a little nervous in VR because people real close, you can actually cock your weapon on accident in terms of accidentally expel a shotgun shell, but it does go back into your inventory. So you can technically use this trick where you can keep cocking your gun to expel all the bullets, upgrade your weapon capacity, and get free bullets, you know, that way, which is pretty dope. Like new addition that obviously doesn't compromise what what Resident Evil 4 is and has been, but man, they really fucking did it, man. I cannot praise this enough. They really fucking did it, okay? Put their foot in it. Put their foot in it. Every damn toenail, toe jam, they put their damn foot in it. So, all right, that's enough of me gushing about one of my favorite games of all time, now translated to VR. But man, like a fucking kid again in a damn toy store with this game. So good. I cannot recommend this enough. All right. Let me stop. Let me get off my pedestal. More than likely probably play this after, now that I'm all antsy now with this in my head. But yeah, man. If you have the means and you are a Resident Evil fan and loved Resident Evil 4, playing it, highly recommend it. Highly recommend. I'm curious too, is what I'm very curious about this game though is that which is gonna be funny as hell, does this count as being in the running for a game of the year? I mean, technically it's a new experience, but I know for sure it's definitely hands down gonna win best VR game category for sure. I would be astounded if it didn't. So at least I know it has that on lock. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't see it winning game of the years. It is fucking shit. It's fucking close. Probably the technicality that is this is a game that's been ported on so many consoles already. I don't think we have the capability of making a game of the year, but somebody nominated. Somebody give it the recognition it deserves. I'm sorry. Okay, I let it all out. I clearly stated, hey, if you're in the market for trying VR, getting your feet wet, this is the perfect opportunity. It really is. Okay. Seriously now, I'm sorry. I've gushed enough. So on that note, did not really watch anything notable to talk about or discuss. But yeah. With that being said, well, damn it, I pressed F1. No. Didn't want to do that. With that being said, I think that will conclude episode 127 of Switches Sites. If you did like and enjoy the podcast, me gushing all over the place, feel free to like, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcast and video platforms. You can catch me record this live with video on Twitch TV/aswitch. You can also catch archives of this podcast on youtube.com/aswitch for the people that like the accessibility of YouTube. But yeah, till next time, y'all, get your game on. Oh yeah. Nobody's safe.